inning turned the tables and put them in position for a much-needed win. Will they hang on to the momentum tonight? We've got all the pictures on Masson.
It's a great day for baseball.
It wasn't a pretty picture last night until the Nats came up with that big eighth inning, and Pudge had the big swing, hitting that ball off the fair pole, we'll call it, to tie the game, and the Nats went on to score five more times in that inning and took command. They've had their two biggest innings of the year against the Houston Astros. Bob Carpenter, Ray Knight, welcome to the ballpark. You're an old Golden Gloves boxer. Sometimes when you're backed up against those ropes, you just have to come out swinging, and that's what happened last night.
It did, Bob, and for the first time in a long time, put together a bunch of hits, a bunch of quality at-bats, some two-strike at-bats. John gave up the home run to Michael after two scratch base hits up the middle, had the ball up in that first inning and a half, and then once he started getting the ball down, he was a John Lannon of old and John Lannon of new since he's been recalled from the minor leagues. Curveball was outstanding. His fastball was good. His changeup was right where it needed to be, and do some ground balls, double play there. And once he settled down, there was just smooth sailing. Pudge hit the home run you talked about, two-runner to tie the game, and then just went into hit after hit. Kennedy, Desmond, a big two-strike hit up the middle. Following that, Dunn, line drive to right field, another line drive to right field by Zimmerman, and the team was able to put together a big inning by just stroking the ball and battling like I haven't seen them battle in a while. And
nothing devastates a ball club more than giving up 2-out runs. The Nats had all of those with 2 outs last night. And by the way, they were 1-73 when trailing after 7 before that rally last night. So how do you carry something like that over? I know the clubhouse was jumping last night. You come back to the ballpark the next day. But in baseball, today really doesn't have a whole lot to do with what happened yesterday.
Well, J.A. Happ pitched well early, and this kid tonight is very similar to him. He's a shorter in stature guy, but has the same type fastball, breaking ball. So they're almost seeing mirror images of two pitchers. So just do a little bit more of what they did last night. Now, all their runs came in on the bullpen. Basically, we're able to drive the bullpen out in that 7th inning, but all they have to do, I think, is just swing the bat, get a good ball. We have not gotten good balls to hit. That's been our big problem. We're swinging at bad pitches, get good balls to hit, and good things will happen.
And Ray, talking about that mirror image, it's Jason Marquis. Wandy Rodriguez is the lefty he's talking about. Now Marquis, 2-9 in 11 starts on the year. Wandy's taken the ball 30 times for the Astros, 11-12. He's beaten the Nats 4 out of 5 times in his big league career. Rethink Possible, and by The Social Network in theaters October 1st. Kennedy Center upriver from the Nats, right down the Potomac, a little left turn at the Anacostia, and here we are at Nationals Park, where the Nats are 36-37 on the year after their come-from-behind win last night. Game 3 of this series, Ryan Zimmerman, 10 multi-hit games in his last 13 against Houston, and this year he has 47 total, 8th in the National League. The Houston starters have been very good lately, giving the Nationals very little in this series. Norris and Happ, and the Nats hitting pretty well with runners in scoring position in the month of September, and 5 for 13 last night. More than respectable. Houston 73-78. The Nats are 63-88. And Houston, the second lowest hitting team in the league at 247. Jeff Keppinger has had a pretty good series. 3 hits, an RBI, 2 walks. He's been on base 5 times. And a thorn in the side of the Nats is the former Met and Red this year. Angel Sanchez makes his first appearance. Jason Castro behind the plate again tonight. So here's Jason Marquis. He's pitched a lot against Houston in his career. Ray will talk about that in a moment. 28 games, 13 starts, with a record of just over 500.
PNC Bank scattering report shows you the keys to Jason Marquis achieving success. Keep them in the park. 5 seasons for this man. Never allowed more than 1 home run in any one game. Scoring drought. The club has only scored in his last 9 starts, 7 of those just 2 runs per start. A lot of skinners. Hey, when we play ball in Georgia, we call it flyers and skinners. When you hit the ball in the air and then hit it on the ground, well, he gets a lot of skinners. 6+ seasons, ranks in the top 10 in all of baseball, 7th in ground and in double plays with 143, 9th in total ground balls induced with 2,065.
Marquis with that sinking fastball is ready. First pitch of the game is a little bit inside. Underway at 7:07 Eastern. 88 degrees, chance of storms. We had a big one move right by the northern edge of the district earlier this afternoon. Bourgeois gets jammed and pops it up over by the mound. Ryan Zimmerman says no, us infielders catch those, not you pitchers. Good start for Marquis. The Nats have Zimmerman across from Dunn. Desmond up the middle with Espinosa. Maxwell in there tonight, in between Roger Bernardina and Michael Morse. And Pudge gets a second consecutive start in this series. Good to see Justin Maxwell back in there. Been battling that thumb. And Justin got in on the fun last night. Double late, a walk and a run scored late. I'm just glad he didn't break himself in half sliding over by the dugout. Angel Sanchez, young shortstop, hitting .279 for Houston. Marquis with a good breaking ball. Sanchez is 26 from Puerto Rico. Astros got him from the Red Sox in a trade for catcher Kevin Cash on July 1st. Tony Randazzo has the plate tonight, 11-year umpiring veteran. Paul Nart, Brian Gorman, and Ted Barrett on the bases. Astros 4-2 against the Nats this year, 1-1 here. And a little bit low and away, 2 balls, 2 strikes.
Well, let's hope that he makes things happen right here, 2-2. He's had a problem going to 3-2 on a lot of hitters. That's why he has had 5 games where he's had almost 20 pitches per outing, 38 pitches, getting 1 out in his last outing. That's a strike. Don't want to see him go to 3-2 tonight on anybody. I think that's his mindset, to try to throw nothing but strikes and not try to fool around with anybody. He tried to throw a strike 1 and 2 with a slider, just missed off the plate, came back with a slider then. But he has to have 14, 15 pitches per inning if he's going to be effective.
Throws another strike and it's fouled. He walked 1 batter, Utley, hit a batter, Ruiz, and gave up 6 hits in that first inning at Philadelphia Friday night. Responsible for 6 runs in a third of an inning. And that took his ERA from 6.60 up to 7.71. Out to shortstop. Nice big hop for Ian Desmond. Shortstops love room service hops like that. 2 outs. Interesting series between these two. Now look at the runs. The Nats have outscored them. Batting average about the same. Houston is not a power team, but they're killing the Nats with the home runs. And look at the difference in the bullpen ERAs. Truly amazing.
That is, I don't know how they've won 4 ball games. When you look at that.
Well, I know how they won a couple of them.
Well, we do.
A check swing by Berkman that was not called. A fly ball by Guzman lost in the lights, and then Matt Capps gave up a walk-off homer to Carlos Lead. The Nationals could have easily won 3 of the 4 in Houston instead of losing 3 of 4.
And that 6-run average, a little distorted with the fact that we scored 14 in one of those games there, and then came back the next night and scored, what, 7, Bob?
Yeah, 7 and lost. Had a 9th-inning lead in Game 4 before that Lee home run. Jeff Keppinger has one of the most unique batting stances in baseball. Wide open, nearly his entire body facing the pitcher. Letter high strike, and it's 2-1.
A lot of old-timers said that with an open stance, your eyes are closer to the ball, and you're able to see the ball better. Ball's right at the top of the strike zone, got the call.
Breaking ball hit to Zimmerman. Tricky little hop at the end. Ryan plays it well, and Marquis gets 2 ground ball outs to start the game. 1-2-3. Hitting 255, same as Florida, 9th in the league, and they've actually tied the Dodgers now for 12th in runs, so the offense on the rise a bit after last night. And Ryan Zimmerman just loves Houston pitching, whether it's here or Minute Maid Park. Second highest of any player in baseball, to the tune of 480, and in this series, Ryan's 4 for 9 with an RBI. Juan D. Rodriguez against Espinoza. Danny, right-handed, 3 for 15 this year. And Wandy Rodriguez makes his 31st start. He's 11-12 with a 3.65 ERA. "31 years of age, 62 career wins, 64 losses. And on 0-2, he goes inside to move Espinoza back.
He pitches inside as well as anybody in the league. In fact, he's leading all left-handers the last 5 years, Bob, in wins. That's shocking. But he's averaged double-digit wins the last 5 seasons.
High chopper. Shortstop knew he had to hurry. Angel Sanchez got it done.
PNC Bank Scattering Report is brought to you by PNC for the achiever in us all. Top of the heap, and that's where he is. Since June the 24th, 193 earned run average is the best in the league. The opposition batting average 203, best in the league. Magic Juan, 4-1 career against The Nationals, 134 earned run average in August, just this past August. The team is 6-1 with him pitching his last 7 starts. Sweet 16, 16 straight quality starts.
He's gone 6 innings or more 23 times this year. 7 innings or more 12 times. And Desmond hits one out to the shortstop, Sanchez. 2 quick outs. Astros are 8th in the league in team defense. They've made just 94 errors this year in 151 games. So Sanchez is up the middle with Keppinger. Carlos Lee's back in left field. He's got a lot more ground to cover than he does at Minute Maid Park. And he has 6 assists on the year. Johnson, Wallace, the corners. Castro, the catcher. And there's El Caballo, Carlos Lee. Where he's playing here would put him about 15 feet in front of the scoreboard in Houston.
Yeah, we keep talking about the bandbox and Citizens Bank Park. That Houston ballpark is just right there. There's no grass. There's hardly any grass. It looks so much like Fenway Park. It's only 347 in Houston, out about 60 yards from the left field line.
Right to the end of that scoreboard, huh?
Box. Yeah. We walked it off.
Here's the 0-2 to Dunn. Adam staying alive, going the other way. In this series, Adam, a couple of walks, 2 hits, 3 RBIs. But just 5 for his last 29. Still hangs in there, second in the league with 73 extra base hits.
Saw the article yesterday in USA Today about Adam making a statement he wants to stay in Washington, that he may have to, because of the slowness of the negotiations, file for free agency, but that does not mean anything as far as him seeking employment somewhere else. Says he wants to be here, no question about it, doesn't want to go to the American League. So certainly arbitration eligible. I don't know what that will do if he files for arbitration and then you don't sign him, then you get, he goes to free agent, rips that ball to right.
Yeah, one hopper right to Jason Michaels. Adams aboard. His 3rd hit of the series, 3 out of 8. That'll get a hot Ryan Zimmerman to the plate here in the 1st. How hot is Ryan? He's hitting .411 his last 10 games.
Adam is a guy that doesn't move. His head does not move at all. He takes that stride. He's open, closes, lands softly on that front foot, and his head just stays behind the ball. And that's why he gets so much backspin on his fly balls.
First pitch changeup. Here's a number for you, Ray. Against left-handed pitching, Ryan Zimmerman hitting .331 on the year. That's 7th best of any hitter in the league. And he's also at .318 in this ballpark. That is a fair ball down the left field line. It hits the short wall and will stop right there. If that ball had gotten by that little turn and gotten deep into the corner, Adam Dunn might have been able to score.
It would have been trouble. It really would have been trouble. If it had gotten in the corner, it would have been trouble.
Ryan Zimmerman now 5 out of 10 in this series, and it just missed by maybe a foot of going into the deep corner.
About 6 inches fair. He hits this ball hard, right down the line. Not even 6 inches fair, and it just hooks and continues to hook just off the corner there, about, like you say, Bob, 8-12 inches. That ball gets down the corner. Carlos Lee does not have that much lateral movement, so talking about that ball getting down in that cinder that covers the edges of the field, the warning track, that could have been big trouble.
Here's Michael Morse. Michael just 1 for 7, couple of walks in the series. Checks in at .295. I don't know. Nats scored first Monday night and lost. Houston scored first last night and lost. I think I'll take my chances with a 2-run base hit here, though. Dunn at third, Zimmerman second. Ryan continues his great hitting. Came into the game at 307. Rodriguez slowing things down here, and Moore steps out. Phillies and the Braves are underway. In that pitching matchup tonight, Tommy Hanson and Roy Oswalt, as the Phillies try to sweep and go 6 up on the Braves. And a slow breaking ball in there, 2-1.
Looking down at Wandy's stats, he has gone to 110 pitches in almost half of his starts. In his last 8 starts, he's gone at least 104. Only one time, 97, but 120, 111, 114, 111, 110. So he's going to work you deep in the count. But he has not given him many hits, Bob. In 2 of his last 3 outings, 2 hits and 3 hits. The most hits he's given up in his last 8 starts have been 8. So he hasn't given up many hits at all. And that's why he's been the best pitcher in the league since June the 24th as far as earned run average and batting average against. Just .203 the league is hitting against him over almost a 4-month period.
3-1 pitch. Michael takes the walk. It appeared Wandy didn't want to have a whole lot to do with Morse there. And he'll take a chance with his former teammate Pudge Rodriguez, who came up huge for the Nats last night.
He certainly did. Hanging breaking ball 0-2. Hit it right off the foul pole. And up there about 30, 40 feet high. No doubt about it. The only question is whether he's going to stay fair. And then that just ignited an inning that everybody hit. It was like a merry-go-round.
So Pudge now 309 career home runs. And 302 as a catcher.
Yeah, Bob. Pudge hit the home run. Then Bernardino single. Maxwell walked. Single. Another walk to Espinosa. Single by Desmond. Single by Dunn. Single by Zimmerman.
Hitting is contagious.
Yeah, it looks like it.
Bases loaded, 2 out. Some bolts of lightning to the north of us. I think that's why Pudge stepped out. Wandy was ready to get into his motion. There was a bolt of lightning up near the Capitol Dome, and Pudge immediately asked for time. Here's the 0-1. That's well outside. Counts even.
Well, the pitcher has all the pressure on him now, Pudge. As we mentioned in the open, when you asked what do we need to do to continue, the thing that I see our ball club doing when we get in a rut is swinging at bad balls. 1-1, you're ahead in the count.
And he was reaching.
Yeah.
Rodriguez will throw him out. The Nationals will leave the bases loaded. It all happened with 2 outs, but they couldn't get the RBI. No score after 1. your second room of flooring free. 877-241-LUNA. Levon has been here before. He won double digits back in 05 with Esteban Loaiza, and he does it this year with Tyler Clippard. There is one more net with a chance for double figures, and that's John Lannon, who's 8-7. Unusual for a reliever to get so many wins. A modern-day Phil Regan or Elroy Face is Tyler Clippard. Here's Carlos Lee, 2 for 9 in this series. That ball hammered but foul. Bangs off the stairs and onto the field.
You don't hear much about Carlos Lee, but he is one of the most complete hitters in the game, and they paid him a tremendous amount of money. They certainly have not won, but it hasn't been his fault the last 3 years. He's put together some great numbers.
He's a professional hitter. That ball really hit hard, right up the middle, just as hard as the one he pulled. Astros have their first base hit.
Well, he just goes right to the ball. Not a whole lot of movement. He does lift his leg, but barely. Puts it right back down, as you were talking about last night, Bob, and then hits the ball right back where it's pitched firmly. They always say, duck.
Chuck and duck. Next up, Chris Johnson. He is third in the league since the All-Star break in batting average. He's .342 since then, elevating his average to .327. We've seen some of his power in this series. Organization guy, 4th rounder 4 years ago. Out of Naples, Florida. Not far from where Ian Desmond lives. And that ball is jacked out to left center. Maxwell is there, and about 8 feet in front of the track. He makes the catch, drops it as he was getting ready to make the throw. So he gets the out, and now the Nats will appeal. And Carlos Lee did not tag. He must have thought the ball was dropped and didn't make it all the way back to the bag, or he left too early, and that's a double play. Good awareness by the Nats to appeal at first base.
We're going to see what he did. Here's the catch first. Catches it, transfer, drops it, so he's out.
Fastball in there to Brett Wallace.
And this is what we have. He goes back to tag, and then he goes when he sees the ball in the ground. But I don't know. I mean, there's no way to see there unless you see him catch the ball. He looked like he tagged the bag, unless when he reached back to tag it, Bob, he missed. He whiffed.
Well, he was pawing at the bag a little bit, but it looked to me like he got it, so he must have left early. So the Nats will get the double play in strange fashion. No balls and 2 strikes suddenly to Brett Wallace, and Marquis at least a chance to make it a quick second. Wallace, a 24-year-old first baseman who they got from Toronto. Actually, they got an outfielder, Anthony Gose, from Toronto, and then traded him to Philadelphia with J.A. Happ to get Roy Oswalt. Kind of a complicated deal. And this kid's been all over the place. St. Louis drafted him just 2 years ago. Traded him to Oakland for Matt Holliday with 2 other players. So in 2 years, he's been with 4 organizations. And he's fairly highly thought of as a hitter. Hit .301 at Las Vegas this year. And a 1-2 pitch. Looked like Tony Randazzo thought about it, ringing up the hitter. Set a tight zone to start the game.
Let's go back to that Carlos Lee play, Bob, just for a moment. You know, his responsibility there is a ball hit that deep, he should get as far as he can go with 1 out, and that's right at second base. And then when he sees an outfielder camp under, then he runs back to first But generally, if you've gone that far, it's almost impossible to tag up if you go the proper way, because you want to be able to score on that ball if it does get down. I think he recognized late that Maxwell was underneath that ball, and then he frantically went back toward first base, and in his haste may not have tagged a bag or tagged it a tad early and left before the ball was settling in his glove.
Yeah, I think I saw him get the bag, so he must have left early. 3-2 from Marquis. And Ray said, of course, first inning, the importance of him staying out of 3-2 counts and not walking anybody, because Jason, right now, still coming back from his injury problems this year, not throwing the ball by that many hitters. Came into this game, 22 strikeouts, 22 walks in 47 innings. Here's the 3-2 again. Throws him a strike and gets a pop-up. Right center field, Morrison Maxwell. And the center fielder takes charge. After the 8-4-3 double play, Marquis makes quick work of the Astros. You can do it at nationals.com/2011.
Well, if he was going by the pitcher, he had him. Wandy fell off to the third base side of the rubber. The second baseman, Keppinger, had nothing in his mind that Roger was going to bunt, because he started all the way from the grass. And all you got to do is get that ball by the mound, and they have no chance for you to make a play.
Roger, a couple of hits last night. Double in the 7th, single, stolen base in the 8th, and he scored both times. So his bat came alive. At that point, he was 1 for 16 and 8 for 61. So the Nats are looking for some consistent offense from Roger Bernardina down the stretch. Maxwell next, and then the pitcher.
I think last night indicated that Maxie, he's moving very much on his front leg, getting on his front side, pushing off. But if you throw him the ball waist high down, he can get to it, even when he's moving forward. That hit his elbow, didn't it?
Roger claiming that ball, not selling it a whole lot. Must have hit the bat.
Derek Jeter had a play just like that last week. Finted that he got hit on the hand, ended up scoring the winning run. This right here hits right on the knob of the bat. And he's choking up. That's hard to do.
He just didn't sell it like Jeter did. Breaking ball, and Bernardina stays with it. Nats made Wandy Rodriguez throw lots of pitches in the first inning. 22 pitches, 14 strikes. And a 2-2 coming. That's a high fastball that'll strike him out looking. Wandy Rodriguez, 165 strikeouts, 62 walks.
Kinetic on the pitch track. One good look at the pitch. Going to be right there in the upper corner. And when it's on the edge away and on the edge up, or on the edge down, it feels like as a hitter that it's outside. For some reason, your eyes just feel that it's outside. That ball was not. Perfect pitch. That's why they always, that's the saying, come on, make a good pitch here. Well, that's a perfect pitch.
1-0 to Maxwell. Justin with a walk and a hit in the series and an RBI. And that one fades out 2-1.
Justin was dipping a little last night, kind of corrected that. It may have just been that at bat. Much more level with his shoulders tonight. It's about, we call it maintaining your posture, keeping your shoulders level when you stride, not dipping the back shoulder, not bending your knees and trying to lift the ball. That was a pretty swing, real quick.
That's that breaking ball.
Nice take.
Yeah, Rodriguez didn't miss by much. That thing went right around the outside corner. Later in the game, he might get that called for a strike. 3-1. He's walked one, given up 2 hits. Debbie, how about your chat with Rick Eckstein about Justin Maxwell in the box?
Well, Rick did tell me that Justin has a knack of just a bad habit of leaning over, being crouched over. Justin told me he's 6'5", and you know what? He feels that he can see the ball better if he does that.
That ball heading to the right field corner. Long run in the corner, and it's gathered in on a good play by Jason Michaels. In some ballparks, that's a home run opposite way. Caught right in front of the 335 mark.
There's nothing wrong with the crouch. You just can't come out of it. And he doesn't. Look this. Straight, level. Everything is level there. Hits the ball a little bit on the label. But strong kid, as Michaels makes a great play right in the corner. It's easy to measure that one, Bob. 334.
Yep.
But, it's okay to crouch. I mean, a lot of hitters bend their knees. I think it's an advantage to be closer to the ball as long as you're striding, you don't come up out of it or don't dip down into it.
Well, I guess the ultimate bend your knees guy, Ray, would be Mr. Pujols.
Oh, yeah.
He gets way down there.
He does it, and he stays right there on that same plane, though, Bob. And when you do put that kind of strain on your knees, there's a tendency to come out of your stroke.
2 strikeouts in the inning for Wandy Rodriguez, and a good play by Michaels. No score into the 3rd. In our nation's capital, but there is considerable lightning to the north of us tonight. Top of the third inning. Very unusual double play in the second inning, Ray, after Carlos Lee had singled leading off that frame.
And our crack Masson camera crew is matched up here. Look at the left corner. Look where he catches the ball. This is all time. And he starts to go, but his foot is still on the bag. Just a fraction. Now, this is slowed down, but to the umpire, he probably thinks he left, but on true time, he was there. Like you said, Bob, you saw it just the way it happened. You thought he was there. I was looking out on the field. I didn't see him leave what I thought was early, but you could see where he got to the bag and started that move, but his foot was still there. Great job by the camera crew there.
It was,
putting
and
that together.
They have a ways with the time codes that are on the tape of matching up right down to the frame. Nice job, guys. Top of the third inning, Jason Michaels, the hitter. And that's a tough call for the umpire. You know, but the Nationals thought if there's any doubt at all, let's appeal the thing. And a lot of times, Ray, you know this, there might be somebody in that dugout who hollers out, appeal at first.
Oh, there'll be about 20 guys yelling. If it's, bang, bang like that was. And you're talking about slowing that thing down to where you're looking at it and get a long look at it. The umpire is just seeing, it all in fast motion. And 1/30th of a second is a frame. Mm-hmm. So that is really slowing it down, Bob.
Yeah, I heard you looked kind of deceptively fast at that speed back in the day.
I would be going the other way if they did that.
I heard once they said that he has deceptive speed. He's slower than he looks. Here's Jason Castro.
I have to tell you a story about speed. Okay.
Castro 0 for 3 with a walk last night.
My good buddy Harry Spillman and I were battling for the third base job for the Reds in 1979. And one of the writers for the Cincinnati Enquirer came out and said, well, Knight's a good fielder. He hits the ball well, but he doesn't run well. He said, but Spillman runs even worse. In fact, if Knight runs like a workhorse, Spillman runs like a dead one.
Wow. What an insult to horses.
Well, hey, but I thought it was pretty apropos. And I could outrun Harry like one step.
I think horses are a lot more sensitive these days, and they wouldn't like that. 1 ball and 1 strike to Jason Castro.
There's a lot of good workhorses out there, Bob.
Hey, some are plow horses, some are thoroughbreds.
Yeah.
And the plow horses tend to last a little longer. 2-1.
Well, I was definitely a plow horse.
No, you did okay. You did okay. You're the only guy I've ever heard of who ran 90 feet without his feet touching the ground. You told me when you scored the winning run in the World Series in Game 6, you still don't remember touching the ground.
I don't remember. I mean, that whole thing, just feelings that I've never felt, never experienced before, so it's hard to describe.
Let me ask you something. I don't know if anybody's ever asked you this. Now, were you on second base when that ball was hit to Bill Buckner?
I was.
So at what moment did you know you were going home?
Well, I rounded third.
Who was the third base coach?
Buddy Harrelson. Okay. And when I got about 2 steps from third, Buddy wasn't waving his arm or anything, and my assumption was the play was being made. I looked over my shoulder, and about the time that I looked over my shoulder and saw movement from Buckner, Buddy said something. Go. And then I saw the ball going into right field. So just about the time I touched third base, I wouldn't have been able to score.
Espinosa makes the right decision. Didn't have a play at second. At least it might have been a risky play. He takes the short out.
Even if he knocks the ball down, but what an unreal.
Well, I don't know if anybody had ever asked you that before about, what happened before you got to third base.
A lot of people don't even, they always talk about the guy that hit the ball and the guy that missed it. There's been a million times on TV that I've crossed home plate, but a lot of people think that was they actually think that was Game 7.
Yeah, it was Game 6.
And it was Game 6.
Well, there's no way you guys were going to lose the next night after that. Here's Wandy Rodriguez, who has 12 hits and 3 RBIs this year. He can hack. He's a 138 career hitter who has 12 career RBIs. And the World Series has been full of crazy things in Game 6. I mean, Kansas City in '85, there was no way they were going to lose Game 7 after they beat St. Louis in Game 6 on that call at first base. And, you know, that is one time in baseball when there really is a carryover effect to the next day.
You know, they talk so much about momentum, and it is really the next day's starting pitcher. And if you're matched up against a tough starting pitcher, the Mets that year, we could beat anybody. We felt like we could beat anybody. Did not feel that we could really be beaten, but we had some great starters. But then we'd get matched up against Mike Scott, and I had never heard, that team won 116 games, and I had never heard in the dugout guys complaining. Just wasn't a part of that ball club's attitude. But when Mike struck out 2 of the first 3 hitters in the first game.
That'll play for Maxwell, 2 outs.
Everybody was coming back and saying, he is scuffing the ball, he's scuffing the ball. And, you know, I have always been a proponent of positive reinforcement. You come back and say, the umpire's calling that pitch bad, then everybody's thinking the umpire is going to shaft you that day. And I was one of the guys that I just said, hey, man, you can't worry about it. Whatever he's doing, you got to go up there and hit the baseball. But our team got so psyched out that Mike Scott could have pitched 10 games against us, and we would not have beaten him because everybody was worrying about him doing something to the baseball. Now, when we got to baseballs, they were scuffed and in the same place. But, you know, if they're not going to stop it, what are you going to do about it? Yeah. You better figure out a way to offset that downward movement to that fork ball.
Here's Bourgeois with the lead run at second base now and 2 outs.
And, Bob, I moved all the way up to the front of the box. I mean, to the very front of the box. And Mike Scott threw 95 just to try to take that split finger away. Luckily, I got one hit. I hit a couple balls hard to third, Phil Garner at third. But it was the first time that I had made that adjustment against him because I respected his fastball so much.
But there comes a point when you've got to do something different.
Yeah, you better believe it because he'd just throw the fastball at the top of the strike zone, and you may foul it off, but you weren't going to hit it. Then he'd throw his splitter just below that, and it would look like the fastball on the bottom would fall out of it. So I moved forward and was able to get one hit, but, you know, he still was awesome. But I know that our team's attitude against that pitcher was that, you know, we can't beat him. He's too nasty.
Interesting situation if the Astros were to get a base hit to left field here. Roger Bernardina is playing as shallow as you will ever see a team playing a right-handed batter in left field.
Well, he has
now,
to be
Bourgeois doesn't have any home runs this year, but he's going to have to, I'll tell you what, Jason Michaels will have to really hurry to get home against an outfielder who has 9 assists.
Well, if he's that shallow, your right fielder should be that shallow also.
Yeah, he's deeper, and so center. That ball reaching, and then it's 2-2, so it's a very unusual defensive configuration. If you drew the arc all the way around the outfield, Bernardina would be at least 10, maybe 20 feet shallower.
He is there
than Maxwell and Morris.
And these guys, you're exactly right, Bob, and you can tell it so acutely up here.
Yeah. We can tell how people are playing on the Capitol Mall from up here.
Yes, we can.
So seeing it in the ballpark's very easy.
Michael did take a couple steps in there, Morris with 2 strikes. But he could actually cheat another 3 or 4.
Easy. And there's the base hit to left.
He can't score.
Here's Bernardina. They're going to have to hold him. Cut off by Zimmerman. And it's first and third with 2 outs. How long ago was 1986? 24 years ago, Ray Knight. 3 years before I met you.
Uh-oh.
And there's the home run.
Well, they forget about that.
Well, we knew you were a power guy.
Oh,
that was a wall scraper, though. You got to admit.
Yeah, did you see where it was? 396.
There you are at second base.
That's me, old number 22.
Bob Stanley. All right, let's see if Ray touched the ground here.
I think I'm flying.
Hey,
I'm trying to fly. Oh, man, I get chills when I see that.
That's one of the great moments in World Series history. Don't tell that to the Red Sox, but and then Game 7 the next night. Here's Angel Sanchez, first and third, 2 outs. And as soon as Ray gets his emotions back in check, you'll hear from him here in a moment, folks.
I'll be all right.
He's a little quiet right now. 1-0 to Sanchez, who bounced out to Desmond first time up. You know, there's some Boston fans crying right now, too. You're not alone.
Well, memories are everything in your life. And, you know, I get a little tender because my mother and father were at that game, and they've since gone, and just a lot of things. But, hey, I think the thing I hate most is that I'm 30 pounds heavier.
Aren't we all? Marquis really slowing things down here. Now there's a running threat at first. Bourgeois, which could set up an interesting scenario. He's holding. That ball is jerked down the line, well fouled, 2 balls, 1 strike. Well, we have seen the Nationals, and if Houston has scouted them, they know that at times the Nats have not handled this situation well. In fact, Ray, I remember you and I in the car one day on a Saturday spending about 20 minutes talking about this situation.
Yeah. With
a runner at first, a runner at third, and the guy at first is a stealing threat. Now, there are 2 outs in the inning. But if a rundown would take place between first and second, there's always the chance for that other runner to score.
Well, this is just an ideal count to send a runner here. And if you know that you're out, you stop and let the runner score from third. But you really have to cheat at third. And Michaels is just about an average runner, but he's a guy that can double steal. But it's pretty evident to Zimmerman that something could be on, because he's shading the line just a little bit, only has about 15 feet to get to the bag. This kid has no power.
There goes the runner, swing and a miss. I don't know if Pudge was going to throw. He showed that he was, but he could have held the ball and tried to deke that runner off third base.
Well, 95% or more don't throw in this situation. I had rather throw, but he's trying to get it out there, couldn't get it out. I would like to throw and tag the runner out if he's stealing, if he's a guy that is a base stealing threat, because a hit here puts you 2 runs down. And if your shortstop sees that the runner at third base is breaking, then it becomes almost like a chin play. A chin play, you throw the ball to the shortstop. Nice pitch.
And Marquis makes it all moot with a great breaking ball. Wired Wednesday here on Masson. Manager Jim Riggleman joins us live after the break. It's brought to you by Verizon Wireless, and Jim Riggleman, always good enough to join us live from the dugout. Jim, you made an interesting comment. It was either yesterday or today about Jason Marquis throwing some good pitches in Philadelphia, but the Phillies would not swing at them. Then he had the rough first inning. How do you feel about the way he's throwing tonight?
Well, he's throwing all right. He's just so fidgety out there. I don't know. He doesn't seem to be getting real comfortable. You know, he's gotten out of trouble there in the third, but you know, he just keeps stepping off the rubber. You know, for whatever reason, he just can't get comfortable and getting his signs and so forth. So he's kind of got me a little concerned. I saw the umpire talking to him. I think he was warning him that he was pretty close to balking.
Yeah.
Hey, Skip, were you going to throw through there?
Yeah, we were going to throw through, but, you know, Pudge, we know that with Pudge, if he threw him a breaking ball like he did there, that he wasn't going to really have a chance to get him. So, you know, I don't think Michaels would have come home because they know that kid can steal second. I think they would have just tried to steal second.
Jim, I have to ask you about the sustained excellence lately of Ryan Zimmerman. 5 for his last 10. He's hitting about .415 over his last 11 games. What's making him so good right now?
Well, you know, he's just a good hitter. You know, he's really stays through the ball real good. You know, he just battles the pitcher all the way through the at-bat, and he's just a heck of a player. Your
guy's going to be on third base here on a drive to the right center field wall, and Danny Espinosa hitting that ball about 400 feet. Bourgeois got back there, could not glove it cleanly. And the Nats will have a runner at third base to lead off the inning.
Skip, I've got an observation and another question. My observation is that Espinosa, right-handed, looks like he's much more on time than he is left-handed.
No question. Yeah, we're seeing the same thing, and I think that's why his strikeout totals in the minor leagues are a little high, because you get so many at-bats, you know, from the left side. So you're absolutely right. We got to, you know, it's definitely a point of contention we're going to have to work with.
Jim, we don't want to get in your way of getting this run home, so we'll let you go.
Okay.
Chance to go up 1-0. Thanks for your time.
Thank you.
And here's Desmond. And Ray, it's been interesting watching these two. It seems like when Espinosa gets on base, Desmond immediately does something to advance him or to score him. They seem to be successful in tandem.
Well, I only have one guy that I might had rather have up at the plate right here, and that would be Zimmerman. I like Desmond in this situation. He has been just so clutch all year long, and he just has that ability to rise to the occasion.
I'm thinking that's a good pitch to take because you can't hit it. Then he's still got a called strike with it.
Well, who cares? I mean, one strike doesn't mean anything.
There you go.
You know, and I'm going to pound this. There's people out there going to get tired of hearing it, but you must get a good pitch to hit. It doesn't have to be a pitcher strike.
That's a little bit outside.
You have to know what area you can hit. If you think about the size of a not a beach ball, but maybe the old killer balls or a small basketball, you need to have a size about an area about that big that you can hit in.
That's going to score the run. And Desmond has a chance to beat it out. He has a base hit. And the Nationals take the lead on Ian Desmond's 62nd RBI. With nobody out, Espinosa was playing it carefully at third, Ray. When he saw the ball get by the third baseman, he was gone.
Yeah, and because Desi was set up to hit the ball the other way, the soft pitch he was able to get the bat on. And even though that's not a pitch that he can drive with just one strike, it is a pitch that you can make contact with up the middle, and that's all you're looking for with the infield bat. And with his great speed, he beats it out for a single.
Here's Dunn. Adam singled hard to right field his first time. So the Nats have that highly coveted first two men aboard at the top of the order. It hasn't happened that often lately. Dunn is 4 RBIs away from another 100 RBI season. There goes Desmond. And the throw is right there. Unbelievable throw by Jason Castro. Desmond basically slid right into the baseball.
Well, he doesn't get thrown out too much, and only problem I have with this is he's not been over there against Wandy, and it just barely gets him, but, you know, he's going 1-1. You've got no outs. You have 2 more outs to play with.
Best hitters coming up.
Best hitters coming up, and you just need to see a few more pitches to be able to read that left-hander a little bit better, Bob, and it's no different than being selective at the plate and being patient. As a good base stealer, You need to be a little more patient when you have enough room.
Here's the other thing. With Dunn batting at first base, you're almost in scoring position.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. The first time I ever heard that was when I managed in Colorado and got a guy thrown out at second base, and the writer there, I think it was Tracy Ringo, wrote in the newspaper, at night we'll learn that you're in scoring position at home plate here. You don't have to run.
Tracy Ringlesby.
Some lessons are hard to learn.
Hall of Fame baseball writer. 3-2 to Dunn. Let's see if he didn't like it for a reason. Close enough to be a strike.
It is a strike.
And then a changeup gets it. 2 outs now. That's strikeout number 3 for Wandy Rodriguez. And it'll bring up Ryan Zimmerman. All right, Zimmerman 17 for 40 now over his last 11 games. That's a batting mark of .425. And he is getting close to hitting .310. Here's a couple of names for you. Before Ryan got that first hit tonight, he was batting .307. That's the same as Albert Pujols. Not to mention Martin Prado and Adrian Gonzalez. And his on-base percentage was .389, the same as Chase Utley. So Ryan is right now in a couple of different categories, right up there with the best hitters in the league. And if he gets another hit tonight, it'll be his 48th multi-hit game, the same number as Matt Holliday and Placido Polanco.
Well, you're telling me what I already know. He's one of the best hitters in the game.
But he's showing us numbers at this stage of the season that we haven't seen him accomplish before. Now, hopefully, knock on wood,
well,
he does this for the last week and a half of the season and finishes over 300. He's playing slow pitch softball against the Astros. Those are crazy numbers.
Well, you're going to have streaks, and he is one of the streakiest guys as far as when he gets hot. He stays hot. Last year, the hitting streak that he had, starting off the season.
30 games.
30-game hitting streak. And none of those were cheap. He got legitimate base hits.
He gets a piece of that one, but it'll fly out to Lee in left center. Espinosa triples off the wall in right center. Desmond drives him home. He has driven in 62 on the year. And the Nats take a 1-0 lead. The middle innings on the way. I'm interested in what Riggleman said about Jason Marquis looking fidgety on the mound, but 3 scoreless innings.
Yeah, and that shows you how a manager pays attention. I haven't seen that. It didn't get my attention, and but there has been times when he has been fidgety. Remember, he balked earlier. But there's something about mound presence. and managers see that, and we're going to pay closer attention. I am, to see if he's just not comfortable out there. Usually, when you're not comfortable, it has something to do with the mound. It has something to do with the landing area, and you're just trying to find the place to put your foot, push off the mound, be able to repeat your delivery. But I see there's some body language there where he's talking to himself, and that might be what he's talking about when he says fidgety. He's just not seeing the positive reaction.
You know, it's not like he's a surf guy from California. I mean, Jason Marquis is a very intense New York guy. I know I get fidgety every time I go there. 3 balls and no strikes to Jeff Keppinger, and that's where the Nats will finish the season next weekend. 3-0 pitches in there.
Well, no one that I've been around pays closer attention to the details of the game more than Jim Rugerman and the little things. And he sees so much that so many people do not see. And he's going to be the first to pick up anything that looks to him a little off. And he knows his players better than anybody. He's got Steve McCaddy there. He spends so much time with these pitchers. That's pretty calm, normal there.
Well, he was 3-0. Throws 3 strikes in a row. Zimmerman throws out Keppinger. And the top of the 4th inning starts out with a ground ball. We have one more Sunday home game left, and get your Sunday family fun pack for the Nats and the Braves this Sunday. You get a seat, hot dog, chips, and a soda starting at just $14. Visit Nationals.com to purchase your family fun pack tickets.
Bob, you think, you've watched Jason, I have also. It seems that it's from the stretch, right? You feel that it's from the stretch.
Tonight it is. I think he looks fine off the windup.
Yeah, he does to me, too.
That's his usual setup. And now he steps off.
There you go. That's what he's talking about right there, is just starting and stopping.
Now, let me ask you something. I mean, as a hitter, were there nights you stepped in the batter's box and your feet didn't feel right, your setup, your alignment? I know golfers go through that, and I'm sure pitchers do as well.
There were many, many nights that I wasn't comfortable at the plate.
He jammed that hitter. The ball's hanging up, and Bernardina will get there. If that ball stays in the air at all, that guy will run it down. A tremendous play for Roger.
And Jason showing his appreciation. That was a great play. That kid has played as well as you can play in the outfield.
He's a greyhound.
He really is. This ball, tremendous lateral movement. He doesn't mind diving either. And just his eye-hand coordination is exceptional. I don't remember him missing any ball that he's done it all year long.
Did you see what he did at the end of that play? After he caught it, he turned his glove so that the top of the glove would hit the ground, not the bottom, so the ball might fall out.
Well, that comes
he did everything right.
Yeah.
2 outs, bases empty, and here's Chris Johnson. I think the baseball gods like that play. We just had another flash of lightning.
Yeah.
Watch the glove. And here comes the flip.
Oh, yeah. That's just from years of playing and complete body control.
1 ball and 2 strikes to Johnson, who hit into the bizarre 8-4-3 double play first time on a fly ball to center. Maxwell dropped the ball on the exchange. In the opinion of Paul Nart, the first base umpire, Carlos Lee left early, and the Nats doubled him off. And that one bangs into Johnson. He had nowhere to go.
Well, that's the right idea, but just not throwing in there a lot. It's hard to command that pitch. That ball, you have to bust him inside, but you don't want to hit guys. This ball just gets away from him, and because this kid has swung the bat exceptionally well against us.
Well, that'll make your tricep sore.
Well, if it hit him right on the top of that bone in his elbow, I hope it hit his tricep. You can handle that. But
how about some trivia from AT&T? Smartphone firing up. Zimmerman at 308. Which two players hit 300 plus for the season with the Nats? Well, I think Christian Guzman would have
well,
to
we
be
know
one.
that's one of them. And,
Another 300 season
for the Nationals. Didn't Dimitri hit 300?
I think the meat hook did. I think I still got him in my recycle file here somewhere. I'll try to find him.
Well, there's nobody in the history of the world that has more notes than you do, Bob. Bob sent me notes 2 years ago, and it took him literally about 2 months to get all the notes to me.
Well, you have a slow computer.
Oh, gosh.
I do have a file where I keep track of former Nats here. So the hitter is Brett Wallace, who flied to center first time up.
He's in the stretch. He gets a sign. He goes to his mouth with his glove. I think he's just looking for a rhythm. You hear that word a lot. But as a pitcher, you have to get in a consistent rhythm.
Good call, Ray. I've got Dimitri Young hitting 320 in 07.
I never realized that he threw across his body that much.
I think we've got Guzman and Dimitri on the trivia. Young was the NL Comeback Player of the Year that year. And the 1-1 pitch to Wallace. Little flare right field. Broke his bat in half. And the Astros now have 2 on, 2 out with Jason Michaels coming up, who's already singled tonight and homered here last night.
We're going to get a shot overhead of Jason. And look how this is square here, right here. Look how far toward third base he steps. That is serious cross-firing right there.
That is Detweiler-like. We'll see that from Ross tomorrow.
I mean, that's the corner of the rubber straight there. My goodness. I never realized that he throws across his body like that. And that's why he gets a lot of sink, as his arm has that finish throwing across your body. And why, another thing, your back is almost to the hitter, and it hides your arm just a little bit longer.
No swing on the first pitch to Jason Michaels.
When you fly open, when you open that left side, the front side, as a pitcher, the ball is going to sail up and away because you don't finish. When you develop into a sinker ball pitcher, a lot of times pitchers will start getting more and more and more throwing across their body to make sure they stay on top of the ball.
And that ball will tie the game. Down the left field. Johnson around third. Bernardino retrieves it quickly. And the Astros tie it on Michaels' 26th RBI. And that's the player that was hit by the pitch who scored that run. So Marquis had bases empty, 2 outs.
Well, this guy's a middle-end hitter, dead middle-end hitter. He hit the home run last night. We haven't gone away with him yet. And I know it isn't by design, because everybody in the world knows that Michael, as a player in Cleveland, had a couple of big years, but with Philadelphia and as a player off the bench, everybody knows you don't pitch him inside. He's a middle-end, usually dead red hitter. That was a breaking ball, but it was such a hanger inside part of the plate that he didn't have much problem getting to it.
Now the pitcher's on deck, and here's Castro. Rookie catcher hitting just 206.
And that's why it's so important. You hit the batter, you go up and in, but it's not an effective up and in, because you don't want to put base runners on, not in one zip ball game, not in any time. You don't want to hit anybody. So when you make that pitch up and in, you brush them back off the plate, and it's an area in there that a lot of teams will actually build a stick figure and put it there as a hitter and have their pitching staff throw through a box that's right off the plate inside to get them used to throwing the ball to that area.
This ball popped up. Zimmerman right there, and the Astros are gone in the fourth. They tie the game. Roger Bernardino making a fantastic catch that kept this from being a much bigger inning for Houston.
They'll disqualify him, though. There you go. Oh!
Teddy takes a header just before the tape.
Teddy is having some problems. He can't even cheat and win.
He's fallen down and can't get up, and George wins the whole thing.
The whole point in that bat thing is you spin around and around and around and around, and you get dizzy, and then you're liable to run in any direction. But
that contest is a staple of minor league ballparks.
It's funny. It is funny.
Michael Morse puts a charge into this baby. It's gone! A laser beam over the center field wall. The Nats lead 2-1. That young man's strength is really impressive.
Well, that was a laser. Line drive, about as hard as you can hit a ball. On a breaking ball, 85 miles an hour that comes right back to the bat. And he stayed behind that ball, and it got out of here in a hurry.
Wow. Kinetic North America with the pitch track, providing world-class technology to our national and homeland security customers. I watched Michael Morse in batting practice today. He probably hit 10 to 12 balls in that exact area. Most of them were much higher flies than that. Boy, he saved the laser beam for the game, but he is working hard in the cage, Ray, on trying to take everything up the middle, and the Nats know he's strong enough to hit it out that way.
Well, there's no doubt about it. There is so much money to be made in the middle of that baseball field. This guy has done it. The thing that's impressive there, it was a breaking ball, and he didn't pull it.
Michael Morse, by the way, had 6 major league home runs in parts of 5 years with the Mariners and the Nats. He had 3 here last year. That was his 12th and his 35th RBI.
Going all the way back to late April, the first interview that I was able to do with Michael Morse, I asked him if he could hit 25 home runs if he played every day, and he says, absolutely. And I don't see any reason to doubt that, do you?
Pudge goes out there, and that ball is caught by Jason Bourgeois. We're seeing some serious outfield defense right now. That play every bit as good as Bernardina's. On a ball just screaming toward him.
Maybe a tougher play because it's right at him. The toughest thing to do is a ball that's hit right at you, and he comes there, ball hits in his heel, bounces 3 or 4 times, somehow doesn't touch any of the green. Look at this. How did that ball stay in the glove?
Here's Bernardina. And Roger takes a breaking ball away after striking out looking. First time up. Nats are getting some good swings at Wandy Rodriguez here. Hits are even at 5. Washington leads 2-1. Fastball strike.
See how Roger's off balance there when he goes to his front foot?
Yep.
It's almost like he's falling backwards. Now, it's not easy when you don't face a tremendous amount of left-handers to stay in there with a guy that throws lower 3/4. Stay in there good on that ball. You have a tendency to have a little bit of lean to your heels. I did that a lot in the minor leagues. Gosh, it took me a while to learn how to stay in on those sidearm right-handers.
That's a breaking ball. Front door variety. 2 balls, 2 strikes.
The only way that you can kind of defeat that is look for the ball away. Look for the ball in the outside part of the plate and commit to the outside part of the plate and then react in.
That's another breaking ball. About a 4-hopper to Keppinger. 2 outs here in the 4th. If you want to come and join us here or join us on Masson tomorrow, 4:35 first pitch. And for the Nats, it will be Ross Detweiler making his 18th big league start. He'll be facing the former Met, Nelson Figueroa. And then the Braves come in for the weekend. Zimmerman and Hudson Friday. Maya, Derek Lowe Saturday. Lee Vaughn against a yet unnamed Atlanta starter on Sunday. And then next week, the Phillies. It is possible that the Phillies could be in a position to clinch the division when they visit here next Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. If they beat Atlanta tonight and they're scoreless in the 5th inning, they would lead by 6. Most ball clubs have 10 games left after tonight. So the Phillies, if they win tonight, their magic number would be down to about 5. And they could clinch here. Don't want to see that happen.
It's over in that division, buddy.
Oh, yeah.
With the 3 guys that they have going to the mound.
Braves, by the way, are still in good shape for the wild card. A game lead over San Diego, 3 over Colorado.
How about San Francisco? San Francisco's leading that league.
Well, they're in the
they're
they
leading
lead their division,
yeah,
so they're not officially listed in the wild card right now. But they're only a half game up on the Pods and 2.5 up on the Rockies.
So that would make them a half a game behind the Braves if you're just looking at that. But yeah, they're winning their division. So
the possibilities are numerous. 2-2 to Maxwell. Slow curveball and a good take by Justin. You'd love to see him get aboard here and at least get Marquis to the plate in the 4th inning.
Wandy thought he had a strike there, and that ball looked like it caught most of the plate. Ended up inside.
And Randazzo's been calling the inside strike tonight. Maxwell gone. Nats take the lead, retake the lead on Michael Morse banging one to center. That ball got out of here in a hurry. His 12th of the year, and the Nats lead 2-1 into the 5th. to win a VIP World Series experience. Compliments of Scott's. Michael Moore's, that ball never touched any grass. Flew out of here to dead center. And the big man's hit 12 on the year, 35 RBIs now. Nats lead 2-1, fifth inning coming up, and Wandy Rodriguez leads off. By the way, that game in Philadelphia through 5 innings, well, nearly 5. Tommy Hanson and Roy Oswalt have each given up 1 hit. Phillies are trying to win their 10th in a row. Rodriguez flied to center first time. Little tardy, strike 2. Jason Bourgeois, leadoff man on deck. Marquis makes his 12th start tonight. He's given up 5 hits, 1 run. A hit batter cost him a run. But overall, pitching pretty well. Had him reaching. Espinosa to his right, gets behind it. And that's how the 5th inning starts. Ryan Zimmerman trying to hit over 300 this year. Our trivia wondering who are the other 2 Nats to do it. We think it was Christian Guzman and Dimitri Young. Dimitri, the comeback player of the year in 07. That earned him a nice contract, and then Guzman did it the following year. All right, Ray, you contributed there.
I'm starting to make a little contribution.
Yeah. And a line drive to right, 1 hopper. Michael Morris. Now the Nats have to be aware of Jason Bourgeois' speed. He's aboard with 1 out. He's already stolen 1 base tonight and 2 in this series.
Well, he looks like he's on go all the time to me.
Yeah, I mean, if I look out there, I wouldn't know if it was him or Michael Bourne. They're very similar players. Bourne, of course, a left-handed hitter, but they're built about the same, and they both can fly.
He's got a big league already.
9 stolen bases in 13 attempts, including 1 tonight. So some pressure on the rookie, Angel Sanchez, to be patient at the plate, maybe take a pitch or 2. Not always an easy thing for a young hitter to do. Sanchez had only 27 major league bats prior to this year with Kansas City 4 years ago. Astros plucked him off the Pawtucket roster, and they sent Kevin Cash, the catcher, to Boston July 1st. Sanchez was hitting .274 there. Bourgeois with a big lead. He's holding. Pitch is low.
Pudge wants to have a chance to throw him out. Looking into the dugout, getting a directive from the manager. It's a slider.
Usually means down and away. And now Marquis walks off, and Sanchez steps out. Marquis goes for a long walk here. What's going on between the battery?
I'm not sure. He only gave him one side. He gave him the fastball the first time away. He threw it out there. I have no idea.
Steve McCanny has a very curious look on his face. Not that often you see a pitcher turn his back on a Hall of Fame catcher and go for a 20-foot walk behind the mound.
I don't think it had anything to do with Pudge. He just had to have a feeling. And Steve is giving him a little bit here. It looks like, I mean, pretty stern. Pudge shaking his hand. I don't know what happened. Well, we saw it. We were right on it. He just gave him one side, sign 3. That's a slider. And that shouldn't get him upset. He throws about half his pitches sliders anyway.
1 ball and no strikes.
3 again. So slider, nothing any different.
And the target, as mentioned, usually down and away. Wow. Evidently, Marquis so distracted he forgot about the base runner. And
that's weird. That's weird.
He just could have walked into second base.
That's weird. And he threw in the slider, so once he throws in the slider, he's going to steal the base. Slider's going to be probably 3/10 of a second longer getting there.
That ball slapped out to center, and Maxwell covers it.
Great jump.
You hit it anywhere not in a gap against these guys, they'll find it.
Watch how Maxwell gets a jump on this ball. It's hit, and he just has no misdirection. He waited just a tick, and then went to exactly the right spot. He has not taken a bad angle on a ball this season that I've seen.
Well, this 2-1 game is sure featuring a lot of line drives into the outfield that have gone unrewarded. That's a strike to Jeff Keppinger, who has pulled the ball twice to Zimmerman.
You know what, Bob? If you pitch contact and you have good defense, you'll see a lot of balls hit hard. But the defense makes a lot of those plays. And you asked the other night, how do you hit 300? Well, you know, you got to have a lot of luck, because you can hit the ball hard 4 times and not get a hit with great defenses. And, you know, that defense that's out there right now is pretty doggone solid.
The 1-1 pitch, target away. That's a sizzling fastball in there.
Best
93.
Best fastball of the night.
Looked like it had some movement that Keppinger didn't want any part of.
Well, when he's throwing that sinker, it has late movement. See it right there, bam. Just the movement away from the glove, back down to the bottom of the strike zone. Even though it was in bottom of the strike zone to a right-handed hitter, inside is not a bad place to go.
I mean, that's a pitch. That 93 with sink. That reminds me of Brandon Webb, Kevin Brown, Matt Morris. Guys who could throw well over 90 and sink that thing. Ubaldo Jimenez has a mid-90s sinker.
A lot of reaction from Jason. Watch his reaction here.
You just wonder if he's physically feeling okay today.
I mean, he kicks up his leg. He stepped off the rubber.
I have a growing suspicion that 5 innings might be about it from what we're seeing. The pitch count's fine, but the mound presence is interesting. 2 balls, 2 strikes. That's a little tapper. Zimmerman, bare hand. He got him at first. Nobody does it better. That might have saved the tying run as Zimmerman throws out Keppinger, who is not a slow runner. 9 home runs now. They're 10th in the league in that department. Jason Marquis is still in the game and hitting, leading off the 5th, and a strike. He's thrown 80 pitches, 49 strikes. Since coming back, Jason's longest outing, 7 1/3 in a 4-0 loss to the Cubs August 25th. And then he went 5 2/3 at Florida, 6 at Pittsburgh, 6 here against the Marlins, before his disastrous 1-out outing at Philadelphia Friday. So evidently, despite all the fidgeting and funny expressions, he's okay to hit and maybe go out and pitch another inning or two.
I wonder how many people out there remember Mark the Bird Fidrich.
Now you talk about fidgeting.
Good gracious.
He was just
he
playful.
was entertaining.
And Marquillo hit a ground ball spinning to Keppinger. Top of the order coming up. Espinosa, Desmond, the next two. League leaders brought to you by Hollywood Casino Charlestown Races. Red hot slots, action-packed table games in West Virginia. Look at Brett Myers, 31 consecutive starts, 6 innings or more.
That's incredible.
The Nats are missing him in this series, of course.
It's astonishing. You just cannot fathom a guy going out there every day going 6 innings.
Let the Pirates worry about him this weekend. They go there for 3, Cincinnati for 3, and then the Astros return to Minute Maid Park to close it out against the Cubs. Here's Danny Espinosa. 1 for 2 with an opposite field triple off the right center field wall. Breaking ball stays outside. He is 4 for 17 as a right-handed hitter.
But he's hit about 6 other balls hard from this side, left-handed. A little trouble making contact on the ball, especially up and out away from him.
And his home run ray in Pittsburgh, opposite field. The double here, right-handed, opposite field. Every time I hear opposite field now, I think about Bryce Harper. On the day the Nats signed him, talking about Oppo Boppo, hitting with power the other way. He'll be in action tomorrow, by the way. The Nationals Instructional League games get underway tomorrow as the Nats kids will play the Braves kids. Down in Vieira, there are 22 pitchers, 6 catchers, 11 infielders, and 7 outfielders. Going to instructional ball for 3 weeks.
Invaluable experience for those guys.
And Ray, maybe you can give us a quick synopsis. What do they do in instructional league baseball?
Well, first thing you do in the mornings, you go out and you do infield drills and outfield drills, cutoffs, relays, everything that the organization teaches, but you have no time limit. You get out there about 9:30. They put you up in generally a hotel and chases a pitch up there for the strikeout. And then you have breakfast, go to the ballpark, and get out there and you go over rundowns, you go over cutoffs. If you're there as an infielder, you work on double plays, you work on bunt plays, just a lot of individual instruction. Catchers, they work on throwing, blocking the balls, and hitters just get to hit. They get to hit in the cage, they get to hit off of live arm, they get to hit off of coaches, off of the machine, and it's just 3-4 weeks of intensive baseball training.
And then some games in the afternoons?
And then games in the afternoons. And you're able to do anything down there, Bob.
Desmond's going to drop one into right field. And Desmond's 2 for 3 tonight.
In those games, say if you had a guy like Desmond that you wanted to get 7 or 8 at bats, he can lead off every inning. They'll have a lineup, but he will lead off every inning. If they have a particular guy like Bryce that they want to get an at bat against a left-handed pitcher or 2, he can actually, every time that there's a left-hander on the mound, he can go out and hit in that inning. And you play the game just like 27 outs, 9 innings.
Now Adam Dunn gets drilled by Wandy Rodriguez. And it'll be 2 on, 2 out here. So each starter has hit a batter. Jason Marquis hit a man, and it cost him a run. Two on, 2 out, and Zimmerman the hitter. Ryan's 1 for 2 with a double. He has flied to left. Zim looking for his 48th multi-hit game of the year. Wandy Rodriguez starts him with a breaking ball that stays outside. Big gap in left center. You would expect them to pitch Ryan away. And if they go inside, it'll be off the plate inside. It is 2-0. Ryan's best power is right toward that Geico sign out in right center. It's interesting that he's batting .425 over his last 11 games, but he's only driven in 2 runs. Not that many Nats have been on base in front of him. And a breaking ball is in there, 2-1.
Every time Wandy's in trouble, he's going to that breaking ball.
A little bit outside. 3-1.
Adam doesn't get hit that much. He's not too happy over there. But I'm surprised he doesn't get hit more. They bust him inside so often, but they don't have to go inside that deep to be effective against him.
Got a chopper foul. 3 and 2 runners will be going.
When Johnson got hit, I don't believe that there would be a retaliation here in this part of the ball game when the game's online.
Michael Morse, if Ryan Zimmerman can continue the inning. I'll remember the conversation we had last night about Josh Willingham not being in that number 5 spot anymore. Michael Morse is making a case for being a number 5 hitter. Desmond's at second, Dunn's at first, 3-2 pitch coming. And Zimmerman hits it right behind Adam Dunn to Jeff Keppinger. There's a Hall of Famer who's going to join us next, and we'll give you a hint. He's a former senator. 3 times, a former senator, best known as a Minnesota Twin. Harmon, it's great to see you. What brings you to D.C.?
Well, thank you, Bob. Mr. Lerner invited me to come, and he hosted me here at the ballpark tonight. Some of my friends, and it's just a delight to be here. It's the first time I've been in this park, so it's great to see you, Ray.
It's good to see you, Harmon.
Thank you.
Man, I actually came along just behind Harmon, and big fan, and then we got to be friends along the way. But are you playing a lot of golf? What are you doing nowadays?
My golf is pretty bad right now.
It is?
Get in line.
You doing just a lot of appearances with the Hall of Fame thing?
No,
or?
Actually, I still work with the Minnesota Twins.
Oh, do you?
You've been doing some broadcasting in recent years.
Well, not in recent years, but I did it for quite a few years, Bob. And now I'm just kind of an assistant to the president of the Minnesota Twins. And
you got your W there in the Ring of Honor?
How about that? They'd still remember me here, huh?
We will never forget you. There are pictures of you downstairs as a young senator. Harmon, what are your good recollections when you think about playing baseball here before the team left to go to Minnesota? What do you remember about playing in D.C.?
What I remember is it was a great place to play baseball. Old Griffith Stadium was a smaller ballpark. The fans were close to the field, and it was great. You never knew who you were going to see at the ballpark, if it was a president or a vice president or member of Congress, Senate.
Carlos Lee leads off, top of the 6th inning.
One thing I'll never forget, in June of 1959, Eisenhower came out to the ballpark and asked me to come over and sign a baseball for his grandson, David.
Wow.
So that's the kind of things that happened at Old Griffith Stadium, and I don't know if it's happening here now in the new ballpark, but that was an exciting thing for me to be involved.
Well, when the team's going well, we see a lot of people.
It's funny that way, isn't it?
It is. 3-2 now to Carlos Lee. Leads off top of the 6th. He's 1 for 2. Robbed of a hit last time by Roger Bernardina, and Jason Marquis walks him, leading off the 6th inning.
Harmon, a question I have for you is, when you played, you see all these pictures now that they talk about 95, 96 miles an hour on the gun. There wasn't any guns back there for you, but do you think guys throw harder now?
No.
I agree with that.
No. When you look back at some of the guys that we faced, Ray, hard throwers. I don't think anybody threw harder than Herb Score. They talked about Nolan Ryan throwing really hard. Koufax. You just look at all the great pitchers, and they all had good fastballs. But I'd like to know what Bob Feller's really fastest pitch was. Nobody threw harder than Bob Feller. When I came into the league, he was throwing slow curveballs, but I would think he would have to be one of the all-time great hard throwers.
You played with Jim Cott. He threw pretty hard when he was a young man.
No, Jim really didn't throw that overpoweringly hard, but Jim knew how to pitch, and when he learned to throw inside, he became a great pitcher.
Pasquale the same way?
Oh, Camilo had great curveballs at all different speeds and great control.
1-1 pitch to Chris Johnson, who gets jammed and fouls it. Harmon, what kind of hitter's park was Griffith Stadium?
When I joined the Washington Senators, Bob, it was 405 feet down the left field line.
Wow.
That's how big Griffith Stadium was. It was 426 feet to center field, where the flagpole was in the bullpen. And it was about 340 down the right field line with a 30-foot high fence.
I had no idea that you hit 620 homers, but only 573 counted. And a ground ball out to short. Desmond and Espinosa, a nice 6-4-3, wiping the bases clean with 2 outs. Got a couple of kids up the middle here, Harmon, looking good.
Yeah, they are looking good. And you got a pretty good-looking guy at third base, too.
Nationals turning their second double play of the night. Their 137th of the year. Ryan Zimmerman saved a run last inning, coming in to make the barehanded play. To throw out Jeff Keppinger, and the bases are empty. 2 outs. Brett Wallace coming up here. Are you pleased with what's happening in Minnesota with the new stadium?
Oh, yeah.
And the Twins won their 92nd game of the year today.
Yes, they did, and they might end up winning more games than anybody in baseball this year.
They're tied with the Yankees right now.
We're looking for home field advantage now.
Well, from what you can see, how does Minnesota do it year after year to contend? Because they don't go out and buy free agents. They've really developed from within.
Well, they have a great organization, as you know, and they have developed from the inside, and a great organization, and they grow their own ball players. And once in a while, they pick up a player here or there, but overall, they try to grow their own, and it's been very successful. They've got a great farm system. Jim Rance, who I played with, is still with the organization as the farm director.
They've had great stability in the dugout, too, with Tom Kelly and now Ron Gardenhire. And a 1-1 to Wallace. What does it mean to you to see baseball back in D.C.?
Oh, it's wonderful. Baseball should never have left the nation's capital. And, of course, I was with the ball club when we moved to Minnesota and was very apprehensive about that. But I soon learned to love the upper Midwest and the great fans that we've had there over the years. They've just been wonderful. The weather's still questionable sometimes, but
well, you might have some cold World Series games up there if the Twins stick around.
There's a good chance of that. Jim Lemon used to come into the clubhouse when we were playing, and he says, "Guys, it's just flurries, no accumulation."
Harmon, great to see you.
Thank you, Bob.
We appreciate your time.
Thank you, Ray. Great to see you. All the best to you.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
Hall of Famer Harmon Killebrew back in D.C., and we are glad of that.
Drive. Fastball down the middle of the plate, out away from him, where he just loves to jump on all over that ball, and he jumped all over that one.
And guess what? At Old Griffith Stadium, I'm not sure that's a home run down the left field line, the way Harmon Killebrew described it. How about that? It'll be Morris, Rodriguez, and Bernardina. Wandy Rodriguez has just thrown his 95th pitch, and he's due to bat third in the top of the 7th. Long way to go in this one, but a well-pitched and well-played game. The defenses for both teams have been very good. Michael with a walk and that homer tonight. And Harmon Killebrew, one of the great gentlemen in this game, great ambassador for baseball. Had a chance to meet him at several of the Major League Baseball alumni golf tournaments. He always comes. He always signs, treats everybody with respect, goes on all the radio shows, and baseball needs more men like Harmon Killebrew.
Well, the world needs more men like Harmon Killebrew.
On a high heater, Mike Morris strikes out. Number 6 for Wandy Rodriguez. Nationals box score tonight, 6 hits, just 2 runs, and everything happening in the first 5 hitters tonight. Espinosa tripled, Desmond 2 hits and RBI, Dunn on base twice, Zimmerman a double, and Michael Morse the walk and the homer. We'll see if Pudge can get something going for the guys at the bottom. He got jammed and fouled it. They are still scoreless in Philadelphia. Bottom of the 6th inning. Phillies have a couple of runners aboard with 2 outs. 0-0. Tommy Hanson and Roy Oswalt. Up and in. First place Giants in the West, by the way, at Chicago, and trailing 1-0 3rd inning there. This portion of our ball game brought to you by Bank of America. 2-1 Nationals, bottom of the 6th. And Pudge tried to wait on that breaking ball. Sounded funny off of his bat. Might have broken it. Chris Johnson throws him out. 2 down.
Yeah, I think it broke it right off the end of the bat. Wandy Rodriguez, 16 complete games in a row. Just 1 out from, quality starts in a row. 1 out away from 17. We mentioned that Brett Myers has 31 quality starts in a row. The record, Wilbur Wood with 37 in a row.
Now, I never would have guessed that one.
Nor would I have.
Guy with a knuckleball, huh?
And a good friend of yours and mine, all-time career quality starts, 452, Don Sutton.
Wow.
How about that? My crack research crew, and I promise you I didn't get that right off the top of my head, like my buddy Johnny would have done. And you would have just gone through your notes and found it.
Well, Johnny brought Harmon Killebrew up here, and it really upset me when I heard somebody out in the hallway say, "Hey, who's that guy with Johnny Holiday?"
Yeah.
1-2 to Bernardino. He waits on the breaking ball and hits it out to left center. It comes twisting right back to Lee. Both pitchers, the starters, in the game. On to the 7th inning, 2-1. 2-1 ball game. That guy likes it. Nats are ahead. He's happy. Not much on the Houston box score. Their only RBI tonight, Jason Michaels with a 2-out single in the 4th. After Chris Johnson was hit by a pitch and Brett Wallace singled. Jason Marquis out for his 7th inning of work. He'll go over 100 pitches in this frame. Interesting night, Ray. He's faced 24 hitters and only thrown first pitch strikes to 11 of them. His 12th is jacked to left. Bernardina can't get there. It's over his head, and the tying runs at second base here in the 7th leading off.
I really don't know what they're thinking, these pitchers, with Jason Michaels.
Letting him pull the ball constantly, right?
Just throwing him fastballs. I mean, he is a dead red fastball hitter. And here's another one right down the middle, a little bit inside. I mean, he's wailing. He's one of those guys that goes up there looking to hit the first pitch. And they keep throwing him fastballs, and he keeps hitting rockets.
And Jim Riggleman on his way to the mound. He's looking to the bullpen. They've opened the door, and Doug Slayton is coming in to face Jason Castro. 6+ for Jason Marquis. And with some fans still checking in on some treats here in the 7th inning tonight, it'll be Doug Slayton against Juan Castro, at least scheduled. Astros will make a pinch hitting move here.
Great defense, Nationals. Bernie going hard to his left, dives outstretched, turns that glove up and caresses that baseball. And then best in the business that did play, barehanding, circling it, perfect throw. Kind of gets that thing and then works it to his fingertips. God, that's pretty.
Doug Slayton will not face a left-handed Castro. He'll face switch hitter, former Nat Anderson Hernandez, who always has been a good bunter. And if he puts the ball on the ground and you make a mistake, he'll turn it into a base hit. Zimmerman and Dunn are already creeping in from the corners. Way outside from Doug Slayton. Wandy Rodriguez is in the on-deck circle, so he may not be leaving. Could be a decoy, because if they move the runner over to third base with a bunt, you would assume they would pinch hit for the pitcher. Hard to believe they wouldn't. Slayton throws it off the plate inside, 2-0.
Oh, they will for sure pitch hit for the pitcher if they get the runner to third base. I'm surprised they're giving up an out here when you're on the road to tie the ball game.
Well, the Astros don't score many runs.
But
only the Pirates fewer.
You don't play for the tie on the road. Not this early. Not just giving up outs. You just can't afford to give up outs.
Hard to do it when the other team has the last at bat, huh?
Yeah, it is. Now at home it's a little different story, but
now Slayton misses on all three against a guy who's trying to make an out.
The proper thing to do in a situation where you have the runner on second base and you got your 7-hole hitter up or pinch hitter in that deal is to drive the ball. Just think about base hit to the right side. Don't give yourself up. Then if you hang something, you can always pull it. But, you know, you're thinking about base hit to the right side, not just give yourself up. And there's a big difference. I don't think Wandy's going to hit here. I just can't imagine.
No.
The
runner at second or third.
Yeah, I can't imagine him letting him hit.
3-1 pitch. Did he go? No swing. First and second, nobody out. But now they can leave him in to bunt.
Now they can bunt with him.
So the Nats allow them to leave Wandy Rodriguez in the game in a bunting situation by issuing that walk.
About the same check swing as Willie Harris had last night.
I talked to Willie today. He was still steaming about that, and I told him our replay showed he wasn't even close to swinging. So Slayton will walk Anderson Hernandez and leave the ball game. And the Nats further into the bullpen. Wandy Rodriguez a chance to push 2 runners ahead, trailing 2-1. An afternoon game, a little late, Thursday, 4:30. Bassett HD, Nats Astros, Game 4. Nelson Figueroa, 5-3 with a 3.5 ERA, but he goes 5 innings or less his last 4 times out. And we're not sure what to expect from an inning standpoint for Ross Detweiler. No earned runs in his last 6 innings as a reliever. We'll get you going at 4 o'clock. Nats Extra, Johnny and Phil here at the ballpark. Then the Braves come in for the weekend, the Phillies next week.
Adam cheating big time at first base. There is a play that's called a wheel play where the shortstop is right behind the runner. He breaks to third. Third baseman charges, has a line. Pitcher has everything in front of him. First baseman has a line, and then you let the shortstop beat the runner to third base and have the play go to third. Now, I have not seen Riggleman institute that play all year long. Cardinals do it a lot. Dusty Baker will do it. Bochy does it. Right here, it looks like just straight up bunt and just get an out.
Pudge in behind the runner. Pretty close, he made it. Well, that is such a crowded play at second base with the shortstop trying to get into position for the throw and the runner hustling back.
third base has this line right here. That's all he wants to cover. Anything in this area right here, third baseman stays at home, pitcher gets the ball and throws to third. So you should not see Zimmerman charge unless the ball is bunted right down the line.
That is a called strike or a swinging bunt. Not sure which, but strike two.
Now, we've seen managers take the bunt off in this situation. I don't think you can. I think you've got to execute and bunt the baseball as a pitcher. That is what you do all the time.
Double play too risky?
Double play is way too risky. So I don't care if it is 2 strikes. Bunt the ball.
That ball's on a line, and Dunn grabs it and throws it into center field, but Maxwell coming in, no advancement by the runners.
Well, that's fine. Whenever you have a player doing what he's supposed to do, watch Justin start to walk in here, and before the ball's even thrown, he makes a step or two there. You can take chances. You can throw to bases when other guys are doing their job, and that's exactly what Maxie does there. Great try. Nothing wrong with that. Now, if the center fielder's asleep out there, then big-time trouble, but that's what you're talking about, a team working together and each of them taking care of their own job.
Big out. Bourgeois tough to double up. Breaking ball misses. A wise baseball man once said, on every play, every player with a glove has a place to be.
He does. And you get lazy out there sometimes. I mean, I don't know if it's lazy, complacent, maybe not paying attention, but that's why I like the Maxwells and the Espinosas and the Bernardinas. You know, you see holes in something of each of them, but you also see the baseball aptitude. But you have to have that first if you're going to build a winning team.
Well, in basketball, they call it court awareness. When the ball's not in your area, you still have to know what's going on. And a great example of that by Justin Maxwell. And a swing and a foul by Bourgeois. 1 ball, 2 strikes.
By the way, that was a great recognition, Bob, of last 3 innings ago when you recognized Bernardino was that shallow. Now Bernie's back in normal position here. In my opinion, the right fielder should be a little shallower because you have a tendency to hit the ball the other way with 2 strikes. Very tough to drive the ball over the right fielder's head. It looks like he's moved in about, 10 feet in front of the normal spot that's right behind him. So I think it's going to be difficult for Michaels to score if the ball is hit that way hard. Now, if he hits it to left field, he's going to have a chance because Bernie's back deeper.
1-2 pitch. And I was wondering about the pitch selection because this is a hitter with no home runs. And Clipper did go with the fastball there. But, Ray, you know this. With a hitter like this, you are doing them a favor if you give them anything off speed they can hit.
That's right. You just try to knock the bat out of his hand. I don't think he can hit the ball over our outfielder's head now.
That was a breaking ball hanging up there a little bit.
But just by the way that his swing is, there's not a lot of thump in that swing. You know, he's line drive, just peck type hitter.
1 career home run.
Same way with Sanchez. I mean, I think that you could cheat in every spot in the outfield because unless you just throw one of those hanging pitches, big time mistakes, these type hitters are not going to hit the ball over your head. You may hit it in the gap, but he shouldn't hit the ball hard enough to get it over your head.
Target away. That is a fastball close, but ball 3.
I don't know how you take it, though. I mean, you know.
Not according to the Ray Knight hitting philosophy.
No, I swing at anything close. This ball is, I would have taken that.
Yeah, and it was called right by Tim.
Yeah, it was. I would have taken that. But if that ball is, 3-4 inches outside, I couldn't take that pitch. It just scare you to death because they'll ring you up.
This ball way out of play.
And you can handle it. Even that ball right there, if you're looking away with 2 strikes, you can drive that ball hard to right field. It's up. It's elevated. You've got a lot more time to look at the ball because in order to hit it to right field, you've got to let the ball get back on the plate. So even though it's 5 inches outside, when it's up like that, it's not a tough pitch to handle.
3-2 with 1 out and 2 men aboard. He walks on a 3-2 pitch. That was very close. Unbelievable take by Bourgeois. Bases loaded, 1 out.
Jim just mouthed, "You guys are terrible." I'm going to take a look here and try to draw the line. Here's the front of the plate right here. You tell me. You tell me. Yo,
what does it take to get a check swing called the right way
that's
when the Nationals play the Houston Astros?
That's ridiculous. Jim's going to get thrown out, too. He's going to get thrown out. He's going to get thrown out.
They just cannot get it right
when
the Nationals play this team. Berkman, Harris last night, Bourgeois tonight, all 3 of them wrong.
And I think the umpire's wrong here to come out here because Jim's going to say something to him, and if he says the wrong thing, he's going to get thrown. See?
Here we go.
He's going to get thrown. The umpire shouldn't come out there that quick. They know they blew the call. Let the game play. Don't throw the man out of the ball game. He's managing his butt off, doing everything that he can. The pitcher makes a pitch. The umpire misses the call. Now, you don't ever hear me say anything about balls and strikes. But when it's that obvious.
Unbelievable. And a good umpire will say, "Okay, Jim, you got 5 seconds to head for the dugout, and then I'll run you." And a bad umpire throws you out.
And I think that's what happened, Bob. Great call there.
I think Tony Randazzo kept his head there.
And the first base umpire never walked toward Jim, and Jim was out there in the middle of the field yelling at him. So nice job by the umpires keeping their head cool. But,
Angel Sanchez, the hitter now.
And I'm not defending them on what I'm about to say, but we do have the opportunity to see that in slow motion. And it happened so quickly that there were so many times me playing third base, I couldn't tell if a left-handed hitter actually went that way. But I'm not the umpire. I'm not looking at that.
Base hit right field. Game is tied. A second runner coming home, Hernandez, and Houston has the lead.
Well, that's ridiculous. Dadgummit.
Every time the umpires miss one, the Nats pay. Cost him a ball game in Houston, cost him a big inning last night, and might cost him the game tonight.
Well, that's where your pitcher loses concentration. How many times have we talked about that in the short time that I've been here, is that when something stupid or crazy happens, the pitcher loses concentration. The whole game changes, and there's just a way that the game is supposed to flow, and when a guy makes a pitch like he made right there, the guy's out. I mean,
first and third, 1 out now. Clippard up and in to Keppinger, 0 for 3 on 3 grounders to Zimmerman. Long way to go in this game. It's only the top of the 7th. By the way, Marquis gets charged with one of those runs, Slayton the other. So Jason cannot lose the game, but Slayton might. Third base Bourgeois, he can fly. Any fly ball that's not shallow will drive him in. Sanchez, the big hit, he's at first base. Good speed on both ends for Houston. 1 ball, 1 strike now.
I'm not a player. I'm not a coach anymore. I'm certainly not a manager. But that competitive part of me that was there all those years, it's hard for me to accept that. I mean, it is, because these guys are just battling their tails off. You don't want to just beat it to death, but dang.
Well, and here's another thing. Last night, a veteran hitter, Willie Harris, gets rung up. Tonight, a rookie hitter gets the call on a similar type thing. And Willie didn't go nearly as far as he did. So you're wondering, okay, if veteran players get the breaks, where are the breaks here?
Well, there's a point to that, and I understand that. I just want them to call it the same. I don't care who's up there.
Ray, I think we all do, but that's not what happens. You know, that's like the conversation Willie and I had today. Because I asked him, I said, okay, your check swing last night, if that's Chase Utley, Chipper Jones, or Lance Berkman, is that strike three? He said, probably not. But for him it was. And now tonight for a rookie, it's ball four. 1-2 strikes to Keppinger. Clipper changeup. Probably a good thing it was that high. And of course, another thing that hurt in this inning was when Doug Slayton walked Anderson Hernandez, who was trying to make an out. 2-2 pitch. That's going to ring him up on the inside corner. And Keppinger walks away, 2 outs.
Two goes inside, hits the glove. Anytime you put the ball right in the glove, he didn't even have to move it. You're going to get that call. Maybe an inch or off the plate inside, but.
And a dangerous matchup here. Lee, a hard single up the middle. Robbed of a double by Bernardina. Walked his last time. Oh, man. This guy does not get cheated.
Well, he knows how to hit. Knows how to hit. If you look at his numbers, 119 RBIs in 07, 100 in 08, 008, 009, 102 RBIs. In 06, 116. So 300 the last 3 years, 303, 314, 300.
Clipper jams him with a low 80s changeup inside to a right-handed batter.
And he goes out and plays, Bob. He played 160 games last year. He was injured in 08.
Well, his nickname of El Caballo is very meaningful. He is the horse.
Played every game in 2007.
Fastball up on 0-2.
And he just does not strike out. Incredibly, over his entire career. And in the National League, 226 walks, his 289 strikeouts, and over 2,700 at bats. So he not only has power, ability to drive the ball, he just doesn't strike out much. And they've got a great strikeout pitcher on the mound.
He has struck out 55 times this year. That's the most in his career in Houston. That goes back to 07.
And the reason, just a real simple mindset that he doesn't mind getting jammed. He'll hit the ball to right field, pull the breaking ball, hit the fastball the other way.
2-2 pitch. Got him on a pitch up and away. Clippard gets out of it, but some damage on the 2-run hit by Angel Sanchez. Tonight's game brought to you by the all-new 2011 Hyundai Sonata. Visit your Washington area Hyundai dealer this week. Time to stretch at our Bottom of the 7th coming up, and a good pitch sequence. Clippard against Lee.
Fastball up, fouled it back, comes back with another fastball running again, actually change up, 82, then fastball way out of there, another one upstairs, comes back with the curveball that kind of hangs, and he struck him out on a high-hanging breaking ball. Something he's not used to seeing.
Bottom 7, Wandy Rodriguez against Maxwell. Humberto Quintero, their frontline catcher, takes over here. So it's Maxwell, scheduled to be Mensch next, and then Espinoza. Justin, good job to lay off the breaking ball away, 2-0. Joel Peralta to take over for the Nats in the 8th. And Rodriguez misses, 3-0.
Well, he needs to take here.
And maybe another.
No, I wouldn't have him taking another one because he can hit the ball out of the ballpark. I just have him looking for that same pitch.
Make sure it's a good pitch, though.
Well, it's got to be that same spot. You know, the spot that he knows that he can hit the ball hard. I always say that. And it's wherever he is the strongest. And he's late. I mean, that's 3-1. You're late. When it's 3-1, everything is in your favor. That's when you cheat. Get the bat barrel out front. And, you know, you can let it rip. It's not a defensive hack. That was a defensive hack when the hitter's ahead in the count. Now, 3-2, he should be defensive, and he's probably going to swing hard. But, you know, 3-1, as these counts fluctuate or change, and you've got that, you've got the advantage when you're that strong. You better be letting it rip.
Maxwell 0 for 2 tonight. Fly ball deep into the right field corner, caught on a good play by Jason Michaels. He struck out in the 4th.
See how he's gone to that breaking ball, Bob? 3-2. There goes the fastball down. Good take.
I'll say.
Perfect.
Wow, that was close. Wandy Rodriguez with only his 2nd walk of the night. Starting tomorrow, every Thursday, Friday, and Saturday. It's the last time all year. Miller Lite Party Night in Nationals Park. Score a scoreboard pavilion seat and a drink voucher for $20, $22 for prime games. Don't forget about that early happy hour, $5 beers at the Miller Lite Scoreboard Walk Bar. Now that there's a runner aboard to be moved over, Alberto Gonzalez will pinch hit and not Kevin Mensch.
Wanting to sign again. Now, we're at home, so it wouldn't surprise me to see him bunt the runner over. But it wouldn't surprise me to see him swinging either.
Gonzalez, 2 sacrifice bunts this year. Deadens that ball. Ooh. Keppinger took a while to get to first base, and Alberto Gonzalez talking to the umpire as if he was interfered with there. But the ball just beat him, and it'll go 2-4 on the sacrifice.
It almost looked like the ball hit the bat twice. We saw that last night, but something funny there.
Yeah, here comes Brad Mills. Well, the Nationals didn't win this argument last night. But if Houston wins one tonight, you might see a manager from first base get tossed.
Okay, gets the bat barrel out there. The ball goes straight down. It comes back up. He did hit it twice.
Well,
no doubt. I thought I saw it.
So in this series, 2 hitters have done that, and neither has been seen. Is Rodriguez done? They appear to be waiting for a pitcher. He's taken the ball, and there is a pitching change. Wandy Rodriguez goes 6 1/3. Nats into the Astro bullpen. Houston. Bottom of the 7th inning. Nats have the tying run at second base with 1 out. And a reminder, the Social Network in theaters October 1st. Right-hander Jeff Fulcino. .30 years of age, big guy, 6'5", 286. 61 games for the Astros last year, and this is number 47. Danny Espinosa bats, left-handed, first time tonight. And from the left side, he's really struggling. Danny is 11 for 51, hitting just .216 as a lefty.
Well, he's going to break out of it right here from the left side.
Humberto Quintero, not a really small guy, but he went out to the mound. He looked like a kid brother visiting with his big brother in a neighborhood ball game.
I can't get over that the umpires missed that last call. You know, talking about a break. The ball hits the ground, bounces up, and hits the bat again. Nobody saw it.
Espinosa, right field. It is at the very top of the wall. It comes down, and that's a home run. We might have a dispute from the Astros, but Danny Espinosa has apparently put the Nats on top 4-3. Nice call, Ray Knight. He did bust out of it.
Well, he is just a battler, man. He's just battles, and he threw him a fastball, which we know he can hit. And ball gets up there and actually disappears and comes back. Nice hitting, Danny.
That's why the Nationals put that green strip on top of the scoreboard a couple of years ago. It was kind of a silver color. The ball would get lost on that. And now there's no mistaking. That's a home run. His 5th already.
All right, Bob, you've been in the game 30 years now. How many shortstops and second basemen have you seen that hit the ball as hard as Desmond and Espinosa? You got Ramirez and Ugla, and who else that hits the ball as hard as they do? They hit the ball hard.
Yeah. And Desmond will pop this one up into right field. Yeah, for young guys, you're right.
Rollins and Utley.
I'm just looking down the roster of teams and not able to come up with any up-the-middle combos like that.
Watch the quickness of this swing. Watch how he goes from right there, set, boom, right down there, middle in, and they're just perfect timing. Just great hand action, pushing those hands away from his body, striding away from his hands, and then exploding to the ball on a downward plane and elevating that ball with tremendous backspin. Wow.
season tickets for 2011, you will get 2 absolutely free. And if you act now, come on out to the ballpark free tomorrow and the rest of this season-ending homestand. Go to nationals.com/2011 for all that information. Kevin Mensch, this is interesting, is batting for Adam Dunn after Espinoza homered. And this is left-hander Fernando Abad from the Dominican, 24 years of age. He's a rookie, 6'2", 207, pitching in his 16th Major League game. I'm not sure I've ever seen Adam Dunn pinch hit for in his 2 years here.
Well, he's hurting, probably.
Debbie, what's the deal on that?
Well, I saw the trainer over talking to Adam Dunn, and then Jim Riggleman turned around and said, can he hit? Just remember, he was hit by a pitch a couple innings ago, so evidently his arm is bothering him.
Kevin Mensch fouling one straight back.
Did that ball pin Adams' arm against his body? I wasn't real sure, Bob.
I don't know.
Because, I mean, if you get hit with the arm, Joel Peralta, if you get hit with a ball with your arm out away from you, your arm gives. But if you get hit with that arm pinned right against your body, it's like somebody hitting you with a sledgehammer.
Adam Dunn hit by a pitch after the Desmond single back in the 5th inning. Here's another look at it.
Let's take a look and see, is it hit his arm or his back? Or golly, it
looks like he got it right in the ribs.
Yeah, it looked like it. But he's holding his arm. I wonder, did it clip the bottom of his elbow and then hit his rib cage?
Mensch on a half swing, thrown out by Keppinger. 7th inning over, but a good one for the Nats. The Maxwell walk, the Espinoza home run, and Danny's hit 5 of them now. The Nats lead 4-3. Has 5 home runs, 13 RBIs in his first 19 big league games. We'll cover the bases with Danny tomorrow. 4-3 Nats, this copyrighted telecast presented by authority of the Washington Nationals and may not be reproduced or retransmitted in any form, and the accounts and descriptions of this game may not be disseminated without the expressed written consent of the Washington Nationals. Raul Ibanez hit a double in the bottom of the 8th inning, scoring Jason Worth, and the Phillies lead the Braves 1-0. Alberto's at first, Joel on the mound, and it'll be Chris Johnson, power hitting third baseman, leading off for the Astros in the 8th. quite different fashion. Johnson's hit into 2 double plays tonight. Won the fly ball to Maxwell when Carlos Lee was doubled off first on an appeal, and then a 6-4-3 in the 6th. Big breaking ball.
That's a yacker. Yeah, Danny, you mentioned Danny's contact. You know, he struck out a lot. He's always struck out a lot, but he seems to strike out on balls out of the strike zone, Bob. And as he settles down over time and just experience, he'll start fouling those balls off and having a little tougher at bat.
This ball right field line, long way to go for Michael Morse. Foul ball, and he can't quite get there. By the way, Ray, Danny Espinosa 2 for 4 tonight, 7 total bases with the triple, the homer, 2 RBIs, 2 runs scored.
Well, he's a real deal, and what I feel about him is just not just the talent that you see with the obvious bat speed and the obvious ability to catch the ball and throw the ball and run the bases. There's just that you know's there, the willingness to work hard, and he's not going to be embarrassed. He's one of those kids that is just not going to be embarrassed. He's going to do whatever it takes to become a all-star type player.
Joel Peralta continues to do a fantastic job trying to get his 10th consecutive scoreless appearance. He is figuring things out at the age of 34.
Well, he threw the big curveball, then comes with a changeup or 88-mile-an-hour sinker. It's not a changeup, but the hitter's way out in front of it. It looked like a changeup because of the way that he swung at that pitch. Every once in a while, I don't know whether to trust that speed gun, because he swung at it like it was a changeup. See how far he missed it out front?
Yep. That was a beautiful H.H. Gregg Exmo showing the barrel of the bat gone just before the ball got there.
But that also can come from movement. Now, I mean, that late movement downward can make you swing over the top of the ball and early, because it never gets there.
Popped up left side. Desmond ranging out. Bernardina there if needed. 2 outs.
I like the way this group plays. I like the way this group plays. I see a lot of, and I'm including Maxwell in that, just the way that they're there. They're there. Maxwell in there on that pop-up. You know, there's no hesitation in what their role is or what their responsibility is on a play.
All right, Ray, now let's see how they pitch Michaels. 3 for 3. Fastballs all over the place. 2 singles, a double, an RBI, a run scored.
Well, I've already had heart surgery once.
That was a fastball, but it was low and away.
Well, I'm just saying, if they didn't know that he was a middle-end fastball hitter, they ought to know now, since he's hit 4 rockets.
A homer last night, 3 hits tonight. Peralta works from the third base side of that pitching rubber. He drops the breaking ball in.
We don't like the breaking ball, I'm telling you right now. Any kind of decent breaking ball, you're going to get him out.
Sean Burnett for the 9th. Two outs, nobody aboard, 8th inning. Nats on top 4-3.
Change up. You don't like it, Saul.
Folks, I just want you to know right now, if he throws a fastball, we're going to have to get a stretcher up here, because this stuff is overmatching Michaels.
if he throws a fastball here, I don't know.
All right, we'll leave that an open-ended sentence
just
for right now.
you know. ...
1-2. He throws a fastball, but it's outside.
Yeah,
we know he's a middle-in hitter, so at least a pitch like that forces him to beat you away.
Well, that's just a show pitch.
All right.
He's showing him the pitch away because he knows not to come inside with it. He's going to go back to that curveball or the changeup here.
He got him.
Fastball 96 block away.
Wow. And Ray Knight lives to analyze another inning when we come back. The Nats lead 4-3. FCA.org, the Association for IT Pros. Here's Debbie with our FCA sideline report.
Well, as we've seen, Ryan Zimmerman has been red hot at the plate. He is on track to hit 300 or better for the first time in his career. Earlier, I asked him, you're making a conscious effort to do that.
I mean, I've never done it, so it'd be cool to do. But like we were talking about before, you just got to keep grinding out, and at the end of the year, your numbers are going to be what they're supposed to be. So, I don't really set number goals at the beginning of the year, but now that we're so close to the end and it's kind of in sight, it's a fun thing to shoot for.
And really, one of Ryan's best traits is his consistency. He's able to maintain such a consistent approach and plan at the plate, and I think that's been a big reason why he's been successful, Bob.
Well, Ray identified this a couple of nights ago, that Ryan Zimmerman, at times, is giving up the big swing to get the bat on the ball. Now, that was a big swing, but the results are there. 1 for 3 tonight. Batting average sitting right at .307. Mark Melanson for the Astros here in the 8th.
Well, I'm not, my point is that he's going to right field. His mind is made up that he's going to go up the middle and then just drive the fastball to right field. He's done that so many different times in his career, and it always leads to him getting hot, but he's continued to do it and continued to hit the ball. Last night, he ripped the ball to left field. But once you get that timing and allowing the ball to get back to you on the plate, Bob, and it really does come from hitting the ball to right center field and knowing that you can fight off the ball inside.
Whoa! Way up and in.
Hitting is all about trusting your hands, or a lot of it's about trusting your hands. If you know that pitcher's best pitch or his fastest pitch, you can do something with it just by getting a piece of the ball and following it off inside, then the world's your cherry. And that pitch right there is just so easy to drive and square up because it's out away from you. And that's a breaking ball, and he's late on it, but it's only because he's patient. He's not jumping out there with his body, using his hands. The reason you see people swing at bad balls up a lot of times is they don't trust their hands. They don't think that they can get to the fastball. All you have to do is tip it, nick it. You don't have to put it in play. Just work to a better pitch to hit.
1-2 to Zim. Fastball low and inside.
He's seeing the ball great. And he lifts that front foot, but he puts it down softly.
Michael Morse has contributed mightily tonight. And Ryan is so locked in. He's just not baited at all by breaking balls away.
He's not swinging at bad pitches. My problem with this ball club all year long, and I know that Jim Riggleman says they know the strike zone. Well, they may know the strike zone in and out, but they swing at too many bad balls when they're ahead in the count. And you watch, when Ryan's hitting the ball, he's just getting a good ball to hit and putting it in play.
Kind of like that. He gets very unlucky as Melanson has the ball slam off of him and then remains reachable for the first out.
That was a perfect execution. You look at the breaking ball, he stays back there. He throws him the breaking ball or the changeup, I believe, 3-2. And he hits the ball right back up the middle, about as hard as you can hit it. It hits him in the shin. Look at that. Just a perfect execution. Head right on the baseball. No give of his left side toward left field. And he gets robbed of a base hit.
Manager and trainer came out of the dugout, and Melanson just waved him back in and said, "I'm okay."
One more look at the swing from Exmo, and just look how he stays back. The front leg will stiffen as he makes contact, and he hits the ball just 1/16 of an inch on top of it to keep it from being a line drive, and that would have maybe torn a piece of his body off of him.
Here's Michael Morse. The Philadelphia Phillies have just won their 10th game in a row. They shut out the Braves 1-0. Atlanta is 6 back. And the magic number in Philadelphia is down to about 4.
Now they've tried to pitch Michael in. That's the book on him. Go in early, establish the fastball, then go soft down. But they haven't been able to get the ball in on him. They throw it in there for a ball, and they go out across the plate, and he smokes it.
Big swing there, 1 ball, 2 strikes.
And the home run was just another example of that. And here it is, 4th inning. Throws that ball right down the middle of the plate, and he tortures that thing. I remember Johnny came back 3 months ago after watching batting practice. Talking about, as you were talking, Michael, hitting the ball in the center field area today in batting practice, but saying this kid needs to play, Ray. And I said, why are you saying that? And Willingham was still here and, having a great year. And he said, I watched him take batting practice today, and he hit about 15, 20 balls that were smoked 20, 30 feet farther than anybody else. And I said, that's just batting practice, Johnny. If he can hit, he would probably be in the lineup. And boy, was I wrong. I didn't really think that he would adjust to that pitch inside. It just seemed that his swing was long. But he has, and he's done a great job.
Pudge is 0 for 3 tonight. Hit the ball hard, up the middle, back in the 4th, and Bourgeois took a hit away from him. Mark Melanson looking pretty good here in the 8th inning. But the Nats do have a run against the Houston bullpen tonight. So far, so good for the Nats pen. Except Slayton gave up a run after walking a hitter. And Pudge up the middle, well placed. Base hit. I'll bring up Bernardina, MLB.com at bat 2010 for your smartphone. Live baseball at your fingertips, real-time play-by-play, box scores, video highlights, game day audio. You can listen to every game. Go to Nationals.com for all the information you need. Time is running out for MLB at bat. Bernardina 0 for 3 tonight. pitch just a little bit outside. Oh, wait a minute. They're throwing the ball out. Okay. Sean Burnett's already been warm for quite a while. He's just doing maintenance work right now. And now Melanson throws another ball into the dugout. Are they not round enough?
That's unusual. I
thought at least they had the courtesy to throw him back to the catcher. Now the pitchers just turn and toss him into the home dugout.
Yeah, and then the bat boy just gathers him up and brings him back to the umpire.
That may be the best feeling ball to Sean Burnett in the top of the ninth. Target in. Right on the bag with that throw, Humberto Quintero.
Bob, you weren't with the Cardinals when Al Robowski.
I was just thinking about that very thing. I was in college, but he got into it with an umpire one night, kept throwing the ball out, and the umpire got so disgusted, he just started rolling them back out to Al. There were so many balls going back and forth, it looked like a skee ball thing at the local pizza joint.
And Al rolled him back.
Yeah, there was like 6 or 7 baseballs between the mound and home plate. I remember that quite well. Four 3 Nats, bottom of the 8th. Rodriguez at first with 2 outs. It's another long one. All these ball clubs with extra men. Lots of bullpen guys making for some long evenings. Bob, Ray, Debbie here at the ballpark with you. Mass and 2 HD on Wednesday night, September 22nd. The Nats are trying to win their 64th game of the year. Sean Burnett is poised to pitch the 9th. Bernardina trying to give a little pad here. 4-3 game. Another target in. By the way, the Astros have the 8, 9, and 1 spots due up in the 9th. Bernardina up the middle where the shortstop's playing. And to the bag, Sanchez. The Nats strand 6 runners tonight. Lead 4-3 into the 9th. The Nats finally retired him in the 8th inning with a strikeout. Michael Morse has a solo homer. That was leading off the 4th, his 12th. And Danny Espinosa, the big blow of the game. The Nats were down 3-2. But this is his triple way back in the 3rd.
Yeah, well, that's the first run. He tripled and he scored the first run of the ball game. Then comes up in the 7th. Runner on first base. Home run. Line drive. Right field, just over that fence. 2 RBIs, 2 runs scored for the night, 2 knocks, 7 extra bases.
By the way, Sean Burnett is not in this game yet. It is still Joel Peralta against Humberto Quintero, a right-handed hitting catcher, and that's a strike. Willie Harris is in right field. He's batting 5th. Straight up change for Michael Morse. And a little chopper third base way goes foul. A lot of things happening here for the Astros. Pinch hitter on deck. And if Quintero gets on base, and there's Jeff Blum, they might have a pinch runner ready to head down to first base. Represents the tying run. Quintero is 0 for his last 11 and batting .233. Homered in the ball game here in that 5th inning Monday night. Peralta has him 0-2. Got him reaching with that breaking ball away, and nobody is coming close to his breaking stuff right now.
That's filthy. That's filthy. That's almost like a splitter, Bob. Which is often considered a breaking ball, but this ball just goes straight down. It just goes straight down. Not even close to the strike zone, but it did start up around kneecap high. Jim making a change even though nobody's come close to this kid.
Well, Blum is a switch hitter. Let's look at the numbers here. He wants Burnett against Blum, who's hitting 107 as a right-handed batter, as opposed to 283 left-handed. So the book tells you this is the move to make. What a great outing by Peralta. Very haunting, very moving at nighttime. 4-3, the Nats on top. 1 out, top of the 9th inning, and trying to take a 2-1 series advantage against the Astros here. Sean Burnett is throwing the ball with as much confidence as we've ever seen him. And I don't think this is an indictment at all of Drew Storen, with Miguel Batista throwing in the bullpen and Burnett in the game. Jim Riggleman said last night, how many guys go from college to being a major league closer in a year? It just doesn't happen. So Drew is not the only guy who can close games on this team. And again, Jeff Blum, batting right-handed, 3 for 28 this year.
I promise you the Nats are ecstatic with the year that Drew has had.
Absolutely.
And Burnett has been so effective against right-hand hitters. So it doesn't make any difference whether he's facing a right-hander or left-hander lately. Left-handers gave him a little bit of trouble earlier, but he's been dead on of late.
That's a beauty. Inner half, down low in the zone. 1 ball and 2 strikes.
And sometimes, no matter how you have the bullpen set up, Bob, you have to go with your hot hand. And this kid has been pitching well enough to be in any part of the ball game.
Jason Bourgeois. He's been a handful. On base 3 times tonight. In the air and out of play.
You just don't see left-handers do much with his fastball. They tend to hit it that way toward the dugout, over the dugout, and it's because he has that late movement. It's just hard to stay with that ball and keep the front side and create an angle strong enough to stay with that sinker ball when it sinks that late.
2-2 pitch. Dougie went with the breaking ball, left it outside. 4:35, first pitch tomorrow. Ray and I join you at 4:30. Johnny and Phil, 4 o'clock. Ross Detweiler and Nelson Figueroa. Base hit. How about that? Jeff Blum hitting 107 right-handed, and he gets a hit against Sean Burnett. Bring in Jason Bourgeois, who's almost impossible to double up.
I always worried about those numbers when they were that out of whack, just waiting to be a statistic waiting to be corrected, Bob. But you do have to go with that. He just got the ball right down the middle of the plate. Didn't get it out away from him. You see the ball just right there and not any movement. And it is about making pitches.
Tying runs on base. Blum is not a running threat.
Outfield playing deep in a no doubles mode, and that's just 3 or 4 steps deeper, just so that run on first base is not going to score on a double. You just try to have more lateral movement.
You might be able to double him up if he hits it at somebody. This game is over. And the Nats have won 2 in a row over Houston. Sean Burnett gets his 3rd save of the year. And Washington suddenly playing some very solid baseball. This guy can fly, but this couple of kids can turn some double plays.